Coach Dean has coached for 25 years, beginning at Burton Bendel in 1991, and for the past 20 years at Lowell High School. Coach Dean has always been a head coach. He has won numerous conference, district, and regional championships, as well as being named Coach of the Year many times. He has a 78% winning percentage. His teams have qualified for the state playoffs for 19 years, with a current string of 17 consecutive years at Lowell. Lowell won the state championship in 2002, 2004, and 2009. Coach Dean's comment on why coach. In retrospect, probably to feel closer to my late father and his mission of public education and motivation of children. Coach Dean's most humorous incident in coaching. It was my very first football meeting at Bendel when only 14 kids showed up for the meeting. 4 were girls, and 1 showed up riding a purple BMX. It was an eye-opening experience for a young 22-year-old coach. Coach Dean's biggest thrills in coaching: the academic success of our players and our first Pink Arrow Project event and every one since then, which leads me to the following. In 2011, the American Football Coaches Association honored Coach Dean as the Power of Influence Coach of the Year, an award given to only one high school football coach in the United States each year. Because in 2008, Coach Dean approached the Lowell administration about doing something in the fight against cancer. That was the start of the Pink Arrow Project, which has included remodeling the Senior Neighbors Home, Gilda's Club, Dr. Gerard scholarships for Lowell graduates attending medical school, grief support meetings for Lowell High School students, Pink Arrow education grants for teachers, and family support for Lowell families during their cancer struggle. Last year, 84 families received support. Each football season, for one week, Lowell, dressed in pink, is a community fighting cancer. In the 8 years since its inception, the Pink Arrow Project has raised over $1 million in the fight against cancer. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Hall of Fame, Coach Noel Dean.
Wow. How lucky are we? That's all I can think about, coming into a day like today. Football at Lowell is a little different, I guess. And the way we perceive football and go about football, I like to think is the way it's meant. I'm very lucky to have grown up in a football family with lots of brothers and a wonderful sister, with a father who was a public educator, who was my mentor, the guy that kind of drew me into this business. I remember being a young kid sweating the experiences of my older brother's losses, the games in which they didn't play very well. All of that stuff tied me in knots. Heading into high school, I got to play for a Hall of Fame coach in Bob Hayes, and then on to college. And then football basically got me to where I could, at times, in the toughest of times, when you think of teaching kids and young kids, the loss of my father at a pretty inopportune moment in my life, it was football that got me eligible again. It was football that got me back on track to play the great game that I shared that experience with him, which then in turn got me through college, and it got me on to the experiences that I've been able to have. So I want to introduce a few people here. I first want to introduce my wife, Jill. She's in the back. She's a first ballot Hall of Famer in Wives and Mothers. The best ever, probably, GOAT of Wives and Mothers. Then my 2 sons, Cannon is flown home, is a Harvard student, and is my next oldest brother, Zeth, who will be joining him next year at Harvard, both wrestlers. And my youngest son, who's a 7th grader right now. And then my favorite child, Darby, who gets 51% of my love and the boys get to divide the other 49. So I want to say my thank yous, but I want to say it in a way that is maybe more eclectic or Chicago math kind of business for all you math people. We had a vision 20 years ago, and we had a thought of how we might put this together at Lowell. I wanted to have a program and people in place that had great integrity, great trust, honesty, that were parents, that were fathers, that were married to good women, all of these things. Our administration was wonderful, receptive. I wanted to be the #1 academic football team in the world. I wanted to do great community service. I wanted our kids to know more than football. I've heard lots of people talk about the sacrifices that they've made, and I don't believe that my wife has made any. I don't believe that I've made any, and I don't believe our family has suffered one bit from the time we have wrapped ourselves into this business. We're all so much better off for what we've done and for what we are, that we owe so much more to the game. And so when I think of the great support that our kids in Lowell have gotten from the families, from the administration, from the assistant coaches, they're lucky. I'm lucky. You're lucky. This sport is under siege by people who don't understand it, or they don't teach it the right way, or whatnot, or they don't have the courage to be a part of it. The discipline it takes to be a parent to drive to Lowell High School every morning at 5:30 to drop your son off for a workout, that's commitment. I appreciate all of my players that are here tonight, and I'm flabbergasted by the people that have shown up. I almost feel bad for them that we had to drag them to an event on a Saturday evening, 2.5 hours from home, but it means a lot to have all of you here. I've been very fortunate over the years to have such great people and to be a part of such a great city. I appreciate this award and the Coaches Association for honoring me with this award. Lowell Schools, the city of Lowell, if you've never been there, you should go, because it is the most awesome place in the state of Michigan, and it has such great people, great physical landscapes, great attractions. So come visit me sometime there. We'd love to give you a tour and show you around. And I'd like to thank all of my administration that's here. It just blows my mind that you're here, because you're pretty busy people. And it blows my mind with all the parents that are here as well tonight. Thank you, and thank you to my assistant coaches. You guys are wonderful. I appreciate you being here as well. Good night.